Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As principal of Marinell Steele High School, I am honored to welcome all of you to our 5th annual Armed Forces Commitment Ceremony. On behalf of the Amherst schools, we would like to welcome students, parents, military families, current military personnel, veterans, and distinguished guests. Before we begin today's ceremony, it is my pleasure to introduce guests and military organizations that are here with us today. Members of the Amherst VFW, Post 1662. Members of the Amherst American Legion, Post 118. Recruiters from all branches of the military working with our students. Current Marinell Steele staff who served in the military. Science teacher Mitch Gillum, who served in the Merchant Marine Academy. Social studies long-term substitute Stephen Whelan, who served in the U.S. Army. And retired Amherst teacher and current substitute teacher Dave Rice, who served in the Air Force. Mayor Mark Costello, Fire Chief Wilhelm, and Police Chief Cawthon, along with members of their respective teams. State Rep Joe Miller of the 53rd District. Superintendent Mike Molnar and Assistant Superintendent Sarah Walker. Members of the Amherst Schools Board of Education, Rex Engel, Teresa Gillis, Dr. Amanda Messer, Morgan Wachholz, and Mark Zappa. I would also like to take this time to thank the following individuals for making this Armed Forces Commitment Ceremony possible. Our keynote speaker, retired Staff Sergeant Jose Torres. Social Studies teacher Emily Marty and Intervention Specialist Russ Marty for sharing their past knowledge of coordinating this event with Social Studies teacher and Department Chair Al McConaughey. Athletic Director Casey Wolf for assisting with the music being played throughout this ceremony. Tracy Mullins from the American Legion Post 12 in Elyria for providing the concrete stones with each military branch engraved on them before us this afternoon. For the last several weeks, art students Corinne Ballett, Mackenzie Cheatham, and Claire Petrillo painted these stones during art class to perfectly match the military branch colors. Thank you to the Goad family, owners of Elyria Concrete Steps, grandparents to Steele students Sydney and Cooper Miller, who graciously donated a military concrete pad with the branch of the military every student enlisting this afternoon will be attending. Thank you to our technology director, Doug Caudill, and his team for streaming this ceremony on our Comets Live YouTube channel for everyone to be able to view. Lastly, thank you Dan McCruskey, retired Amherst Police Lieutenant, who now is actively involved with the Ohio School Safety Center, for being with us this afternoon. 5 years ago, Dan had the idea of Amherst schools creating a ceremony such as this to properly honor our seniors who are making this brave commitment to the armed forces. Please join me in giving them all a round of applause. At this time, the Amherst Honor Guard from the American Legion Post 118 and the VFW Post 1662 will lead in our seniors who have volunteered and committed themselves to the United States Armed Forces. At this time, I would like to ask anyone who has served our country or is currently enlisting in the armed forces to please stand as we say thank you and show support and gratitude for your service to our country. Thank you. I would like to invite all in attendance to stand as Marin Rhodes and Sidney Miller sing and sign our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Seniors, look at the overwhelming support that is here today. Everyone in this room is here because of you. Your commitment and future service to the United States Armed Forces is what keeps our country, our freedoms, and our citizens safe. Thank you in advance for taking this bold step in your lives. Our keynote speaker this afternoon retired from the Marines and earned a Purple Heart. He was born and raised in Lorain, Ohio, and currently serves as the commissioner for the Lorain County Veterans Service Commission. He continues to support new enlistees, current military personnel, and military veterans. It is my distinct honor to introduce to you retired Staff Sergeant Jose Torres.
Well, I had a sheet. Can you guys hear me? Is that good? I had a sheet here introducing everybody, so I just want to say thanks for all the public officials, educators, and everyone for attending. State Rep Joe Miller, he already went through it, so I'm not going to repeat it again. As I stand here today with these young men, and wait a minute before I get started, can you guys please be seated? Thank you. As I stand here today with these young men and women and their families that have nurtured them, I say thank you for making the decision to join in service to our country. But if you thought high school was tough, with a full course schedule and your extra activities, so is boot camp. Just remember your morals: honor, God, family, and country. When I was about to graduate, I joined the United States Marine Corps at the age of 18. I never thought I'd be standing here looking somewhat at my reflection in these young men and women. You have chosen another path. You could have chosen another path, an easier path. But you chose the path of service to your country. I celebrate your achievements and thank you for your commitment. As a veteran, I want to give you some advice. Remember, you are the role models of this future world. You are not only carrying the hopes of all the veterans present here today on your shoulders, but also those of the past, some of whom gave the ultimate sacrifice. You will now join the ranks of all that have come before you and will soon earn the title of soldier, airman, sailor, or Marine. You will stand among the unbroken patriots who have come before and someday also be given the title of veteran. Remember, you are volunteers. I am proud of you for taking this monumentous step to fight for freedom that is worth defending. You will hold the line, faithful to duty, confronting our nation's foes with implacable will. You know that if there is a hill to climb, waiting will not make it any smaller. Be a leader. Hold close your oath to this country. Remember, when you feel down, it will be the spirit of those other rambunctious comrades or soldiers around you that you will draw courage from. They will be your brothers and sisters forever. Now you are embarking on a journey and will discover things about yourself that you have never known. A toughness and strength that will lead you through this journey. To you fine patriots of the class of 2023, I will definitely remember this day, the day I met a group of new soldiers. I personally want to thank you for starting this journey in the United States military. Always remember, honor, God, family, country. Thank you, Amherst Steel High School, for allowing me to speak today. God bless America, and God bless our veterans. Thank you.
We would now like to begin introducing our seniors who have committed themselves to the armed forces. These 6 individuals were asked who from Steele High School they would like to speak on their behalf. Our first staff member is Mr. Terry Kemp, retired Amherst science teacher and currently both our girls cross country and track and field coach.
Haley Counts, please stand. I am Terry Kemp, and I was Haley Counts cross-country, indoor, and outdoor track coach here at Steele. Haley is committed to the Army National Guard. In addition to her high school sports, Haley was part of our orchestra, the National Honor Society, and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Haley's favorite classes at Steele were Mrs. Haney's Medical Health Technology class and Mrs. Brogan's CCP English classes. She felt Mrs. Haney's class made her learn how to apply and think critically, and thought Mrs. Brogan was an amazing teacher who helped her to grow as a writer. Haley has grown remarkably as a person and as an athlete throughout her time at Steele. She is a tough, hardworking, disciplined individual, all qualities that will serve her well throughout her military career. Haley additionally has become a confident and selfless leader for our team. Nowhere was this demonstrated more to me than last cross-country season. Haley was a varsity runner for our team that qualified to the regional meet and one of my captains. It was a measure of Haley's selflessness and leadership that she recognized that a teammate was running better than she was and suggested that teammate take her place. Haley put her team ahead of her own needs, displaying a level of character and commitment to the group that will make her an outstanding addition to the U.S. military. I would like to add that Haley chose to enlist in the Army National Guard because she's looking forward to the honor and discipline she will gain from this experience. and hopes to make her family, friends, and peers around her as proud of her as she begins this new chapter in her life. Family takes on an additional meaning here today for Haley, as she's being joined in her National Guard enlistment by someone she has looked up to throughout her life, her father, Army veteran William Counts. Please join me in recognizing both Haley and her father, William's, commitment to the Army National Guard and service to their country. I will now call social studies teacher Al McConaughey to the podium.
Giovanna Hernandez, please stand. I am not Kim Haney, Giovanna's medical health teacher of 2 years. Mrs. Haney was not able to be here today, but I can promise you this. Mrs. Haney is very proud of Giovanna. Giovanna is a transfer student coming to MedTech her junior year. MedTech is a challenging 2-year college course, as well as wellness leadership. Mrs. Haney was happy to hear Giovanna's comment that while MedTech is a lot to keep up with, it has had the biggest influence on her future. Mrs. Haney witnessed Giovanna's kind and caring qualities over the past couple of months as Giovanna did her service learning at university hospitals. Giovanna assisted the UH volunteers, whose average age is 70 years of age or older, helping patients around the hospital. Many of the UH volunteers told Giovanna their life stories and a few grandfather jokes. All of the while, Giovanna would smile and laugh, staying engaged in conversation. The Army National Guard is getting another kind, caring, strong MedTech student. Giovanna felt joining the Army National Guard was in her best interest and plans to use her college benefits and her Army experience to create a bright future. I'm proud of you, girl, from Mrs. Haney. Please join me in recognizing Giovanna's commitment to the Army National Guard. Kaylee Nieves Green, please stand. This is from Mrs. Felicia Sanchez. I apologize for my absence today due to a previous planned event, and thank yours truly for speaking on my behalf. Kaylee is an extraordinary young woman that I've had the privilege to watch grow in my classroom for 3 straight years, having her in biology, forensics, and CCP biology class. Kaylee has committed to the Ohio Army National Guard through her recruiter, Sergeant Jonah Webb. While at Steele, Kaylee enjoyed being an active member of Leo Club and National Honor Society. Her favorite course is language arts because there is no right or wrong answer. It is a way to express my creativity through words. I have seen many examples of Kaylee's talent, and I've always been impressed with her diligence and work ethic. She demonstrates outstanding leadership and commitment to everything she does, all the while maintaining a clear sense of purpose in life. I have no doubts Kaylee will continue to thrive and make a positive impact everywhere she goes. Kaylee's biggest strength comes from her free thinking. It's not just about learning the content for her. Kaylee is constantly thinking outside the box, wondering why and how or what if. She inspires her peers to think beyond what's written in the textbook. She is very rare for her age in the fact that learning is still exciting for her, and she looks at learning as a gift instead of a chore. For me, it was a joy watching Kaylee's growth to be part of her journey and be part of her journey. I've grown accustomed to seeing her in the class every day these last 3 years, and I will deeply miss our conversations and her infectious smile that brightened my day. Kaylee chose to enlist in the National Guard for multiple reasons. Most importantly, she joined to serve her community and expand her academic career with wonderful scholarship opportunities. Please join me in recognizing Kaylee Nieves Green, committed to the Ohio Army National Guard. That was nice. You had a nice turnout. And I have to mention Sanchez, congratulations. At this moment in time, I'd like to turn the spotlight over to science teacher, Mrs. Wendy Lowe.
Garrett Pugh, please stand. I am Wendy Lowe, and it is my humble honor to speak about Lowe alumnus Garrett Pugh, who is committed to the United States Marine Corps through his recruiter, Staff Sergeant Johnson. I had the pleasure of Garrett being in not one, not two, but 3 of my science classes: physical science, advanced chemistry, and advanced biology. My most significant memory of Garrett's time in my freshman physical science class is not of a single incident, but the many times I would make a joke that I was sure was hysterical, but went right over the heads of most of my freshman students. Not Garrett, though. He would get the joke, meet my eye for the briefest of moments, and give this little smirk. Probably, much to his classmates' chagrin, it was encouragement for me to keep up with my comedy. Garrett is a quiet and observant young man. He will be leaving for recruit training on May 30th to enter the intelligence field, where I am sure his attention and thoughtfulness will be advantageous. Garrett hopes to gain career skills to use after his military service. I want to thank Pooley Pugh for his willingness to serve his country. Your community and I are proud of you. Please join me in congratulating Garrett Pugh.
Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Webb. I'm a social studies teacher here at Steele High School. I would like to call forward Owen Schaefer. I have had the pleasure of educating Owen during his junior and senior years of high school as his American government and psychology teacher. Each day interacting with this young man has been a truly rewarding experience. Owen has committed to the United States Marine Corps through his recruiter, Staff Sergeant Trent Johnson. While in high school, Owen has focused his time on academics and working in the customer service industry. Since the time Owen was 8 years old, he has been a member of the Boy Scouts of America. Through this program, Owen created friendships, gained an appreciation for community service, and developed an excellent code of ethics. As a result of his work and dedication to the Boy Scouts of America, Owen earned the prestigious Eagle Scout rank. For his Eagle Scout project, Owen power washed, refinished, and stained the sandstone historical village. This project benefited the maintaining of community pride here in Amherst and protecting a historical structure. Owen is hardworking, self-disciplined, motivated, knowledgeable, and humble. As a student, Owen always performed to the best of his ability, respected the time and opinions of his classmates, and enjoyed studying history because he finds connecting history with modern day life interesting and beneficial. During class time his senior year, Owen discussed with myself and his classmates his military training experiences and exercises. And during these discussions, Owen's enthusiasm about his future is evident. This young man possesses a unique balance of humility, grit, and intelligence that will make him not only a successful Marine, but also a successful man. Owen chose to enlist in the U.S. Marines because he wants to serve his country, to learn from others, and challenge himself to become his best and set himself up for success. Please join me in recognizing Owen Schaefer's commitment to the U.S. Marine Corps. At this time, Mr. Russell Marty will come forward to introduce the final student.
Good afternoon. Sorry, I'm height challenged. Monty Thomas, please stand and join me up front. Hello. My name is Russ Marty, and I have had the pleasure of knowing this young man, Monty Thomas, for the past 2 years. When I first met Monty, he arrived at a little bit of uncertainty regarding his path, but over the past couple years, he's grown into the ambitious, hardworking, and responsible young man who's standing here before us today. As long as I've known Monty, I've known him as a selfless, caring soul who would do anything for anyone. He consistently prioritizes the needs of others. He roots for the underdog. He always strives to do his best and, more importantly, to do what is right. The old adage says, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Monty, I know your path hasn't always been easy. But at the same time, I think it's safe to say that your journey has made you who you are today. Your perseverance, motivation, and compassionate demeanor are all honorable qualities that everyone should possess, and you set an example for all. Another constant is that Monty has always had the armed forces in his sights. Under the guidance of his recruiter, Chief Petty Officer Trevor Rawdon, Monty was able to focus his ambitions on enlisting in the United States Navy. I could not be more proud of the man Monty's become. I genuinely believe that not only will he benefit from his naval experience, but his fellow sailors will be fortunate to train and work alongside Monty. He told me he's joining the Navy in order to help people in need, travel the world, and to be part of something important. None of these responses surprise me, especially his desire to help others. This is what defines Monty Thomas. I have no doubt he will make all of us here at Marinell Steele High School incredibly proud. Please join me in recognizing Mr. Monty Thomas for his commitment to the United States Navy. And we'd like to welcome Mr. Joe Tellier, principal of Marinell Steele High School, back to the podium.
We will now move on to the signing portion of this event. We have prepared a letter of intent for these young men and women who are going to enter into the United States Armed Forces. It reads, your signature on this piece of paper signifies your commitment to the United States Armed Forces. By signing this document, you are agreeing to uphold the United States Constitution and to give everything you have in order to continue to fight for our freedoms and defend this great nation. You are hereby agreeing to represent the United States of America, your family, and yourself. For that, you should be incredibly proud. The faculty and staff at Marinell Steele High School, your peers, your family, and the entire Amherst community have all watched you grow as a student, and most importantly now, as a young adult. Your commitment and future service in the United States Armed Forces is what keeps our country, our freedoms, and our citizens safe. Never forget your purpose. Be great. We are all proud of you. Seniors, you may go ahead and sign your letters. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure to introduce to you today our seniors who have volunteered and committed themselves to the United States Armed Forces. The Amherst VFW Post 1662 has been very generous and their collaboration with our students for the past several years. In addition to purchasing the flags for this event, they sponsored an annual essay contest and provided scholarship opportunities for our students. This year's essay prompt was, "Why is a veteran important?" Preston Hunter was the winner of the essay contest, but could not make it here today. At this time, I would like to call up Taylor Davis to read Preston's winning essay.
The definition of the word veteran is one who has had long experience in a particular field. The field of our military is a literal one, strewn with sharpened bodies guarded by the patriots that fought before to protect today. The literal definition of veteran applies to those men and women because they are the depictions of what war means, not just for the country, but for the individual. They are the tomes of experience that a textbook can never emulate, and they are the inspiring examples to their posterity and those around them, a shining beacon of what it means to fight for freedom and live to see another day. A veteran of the Vietnam War named Thomas was assigned to drive a truck to the front lines to supply soldiers when he first arrived in the war zone. He was told that the typical life expectancy in that position was approximately 3 days. He worked 18 hours every single day for more than a year and was guaranteed only 1 hour of sleep at night and 1 meal every 24 hours. Miraculously, he survived every mission he was sent on and was able to dictate his stories of the war to the Veterans History Project. At one point in his interview, he states that something you don't learn from school is that you have to grow into a cold mind. You see guys get killed, bodies here and there, your mind starts to grow cold, and you're desensitized. But you also learn about other things, and you know why you're there, and that you wouldn't want to be anywhere else. The impact that the war had on Thomas was dramatic and life-changing, so much so that he also states that he still thinks about the war every single day. The most incredible realization, though, is that even while experiencing the brutal tragedies of war, Thomas didn't give up. He continued to fight every day, not only for his life, but for his country and the millions that he protected. The experience that a veteran of war like Thomas has is invaluable, not only as perhaps a warning and a guide, but as a teacher of honor, patriotism, and freedom for the United States. Thomas also said in his interview that he had taken his children down to the Vietnam Memorial Wall and explained to them what it was for. He explained a lot to them about the war, and they understood a lot about it that a book can't explain. A textbook filled with images, dates, locations, and personal accounts can never replace the living, breathing veterans we have to tell us their stories filled with emotion and memory. Not only do these stories inform us of the brutal terrors that these valiant veterans experienced, but they also act as lessons. Lessons, Thomas said, like those of the things that schools just don't teach. Loyalty, duty, respect, selflessness, honor, integrity, courage, and countless others. These stories that come from our ancestors, our brothers, fathers, and sisters, are invaluable lessons about what it means to be an American. These people are beacons of light that escape from the darkness of war, patriots and freedom fighters that embody messages of courage, bravery, and sacrifice. These men and women are heroes of the country, and they hold knowledge and power that we must never forget. This is why our veterans are important. I would now like to call up the VFW Scholarship Chairman, Trish Pisagno. Thank you.
Thank you for having the officers and members of the Amherst Veterans of Foreign Wars here today for these presentations. We are excited to award scholarships, our post offers, in recognition of some very special veterans and members. Earlier this year, the Amherst VFW partnered with some of the students for the Voice Democracy Scholarship. This is the VFW's premier scholarship. It awards over 40,000 students across the country with scholarships, ending in the scholarship for our national organization, which is $20,000. These students are asked to provide a 3 to 5 minute audio essay on the chosen topic, and as you heard in the essay, it was, "Why is a veteran important?" Commander Jose Torres and President Cindy Parks will be presenting gifts to our top 2 students in these essay programs. They received their certificates and their monetary awards earlier in the year, so now we would like to present them with their gifts and congratulate them once again. Our second place winner was Taylor Davis. Our first place winner, as you had heard, is Preston Hunter. He could not be with us because he is at an orchestra competition. We wish him the best of luck. So Mr. McConaughey is going to accept his award for him. Next, Commander Torres will be presenting the Don Breen Americanism Scholarship. This scholarship is awarded each year in honor of the VFW past commander and quartermaster Don Breen. Mr. Breen was in the U.S. Navy, having served during World War II off the waters in Japan. After his military service, he graduated with a master's degree in history from Kent State University and went on to teach in the Lorraine school systems for many years. Mr. Breen's service to his community continued as president and treasurer of the Lorraine Education Association, a member of the Ohio Academy of History, president and treasurer of the Amherst Historical Society, and past president of the Amherst Workshop Players. Each year, a high school senior who intends to pursue a degree in the areas of history, social studies, or political science, and with special consideration for those with an education focus, receive the scholarship in Mr. Breen's name. This year, we have two outstanding recipients. First, Maya Koth. And our second recipient is Caden Henry, and he is unable to be here. He is also at a track and field meet, so Mr. McConaughey is going to accept his for him. No scholarship for you, okay? Yeah, okay. Our next scholarship is the Katie Schroeder Nursing Scholarship, and it will be presented by our president, Cindy Parks. Katie Schroeder, or Grandma, as many called her, and please do not let the name fool you because this was a tough woman. She did not put up with anything. She was the first female veteran of the Amherst VFW. She graduated from nursing school in Shreveport, Louisiana, and joined the U.S. Army during World War I. So she was a woman ahead of her time. She was a nurse at Camp 51 in France, and after leaving military service and raising her family, she went back to her nursing career, and she worked at the Brecksville VA Hospital for 20 years. She then moved to Evansville, Indiana to be closer to her daughter, where she began to work at a veterans hospital there for many more years. This year's Katie Schroeder Scholarship Award winner is Charlie Hicks. Our next scholarship is the Joe Soroka Memorial Art Scholarship. Joe was not a veteran, but a native to Amherst. He graduated from Steele High School in 1984. He then attended Cleveland Institute of Art. Joe was a founding member and partner of Zygote, a community-based printing service in Cleveland, Ohio, for artists to develop their projects. He also hosted workshops and exhibits for young and upcoming artists. Joe was a member of the VFW Auxiliary on the eligibility of his father, Kenneth, a World War II veteran and a charter member of our post, and his brother, Robert Soroka, who was a Vietnam veteran. He shared his devotion with his wife, Christine, and her father, James, who was a multiple-year commander of the VFW under his Vietnam eligibility. Joe passed away unexpectedly in November of 2017. The Soroka and Pasegna families, along with many of his dedicated friends, established a scholarship in honor, and the VFW has agreed to assist us in starting the Joe Soroka Foundation for students who plan a career in some form of art. Joe's wife, Christine, is here today to present the scholarship to Savannah Fellenstein. Our final scholarship will be presented by our VFW Auxiliary District President, Brenda Cunning. This is a new program for us, and it's a singing contest, and the first time we will be presenting it. The students are asked to videotape themselves singing their interpretation of the national anthem. We are very proud to announce that our winner this year not only won our local contest here in Amherst, but the district contest, which encompasses 20 VFW auxiliaries within this portion of the state of Ohio. Plus, last week we were notified that she won the state competition, and her audio and videotape will be heading to the national competition in Kansas City, Missouri next month. So we are very proud to have Marin Rhodes come forward to accept. I'm so glad we were blessed to hear her sing our national anthem here today. Thank you for allowing us to again participate in this program, with special thanks to Mr. Tellier for having us here, Mr. McConaughey for helping us to organize our participation, Ms. Marty and Ms. Haney, who continue to partner with the VFW for our scholarship programs. Last but not least, thank you to the outstanding seniors in the class of 2023. And especially these young men and women who will be joining the ranks of the military. Before we close, VFW Commander Jose Torres would like to come forward one more time and give these men and women a small gift from him and the VFW. Thank you very much. Which coin is it? Which coin is it? In the military, many men and women are given challenge coins, and I'll allow you to read the story of what you do with a challenge coin. But thank you again.
In closing, if for some reason you begin to doubt yourself as you make your way through your new journey, remember the following quote by four-star general and West Point graduate Norman Schwarzkopf, who said, "True courage is being afraid and going ahead and doing your job anyhow. That's what courage is." I would like to close with something that a fellow veteran shared when asked, which military branch is the best? All branches of the United States Armed Forces are honorable and noble. Each serves America well and with distinction. Serving in the United States military represents a great honor, warranting special respect, tribute, and dedication from your fellow man. Always be proud of that. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank you for coming out this afternoon to support our future military members. Before leaving, feel free to visit with the military organizations and recruiters that are here with us this afternoon. Thank you all, and God bless America.